Good evening, everybody. Dr. Jane Mackenzie here on a Thursday, looking at miracle medicine. And today we're continuing with our theme of immunity. Last week, I spent a lot of time talking about the bee mix, which includes the pollen, propolis, and royal jelly. And I really expanded upon the value of supporting the immune system on an ongoing basis. Specifically looking at the benefits of the bee products in terms of immunity and the cells and prevention. So what we want to do is make sure that the body has the army ready before the invasion strikes, if I can put it that way. And our immunity is our army. 75% of our immunity is derived from the gut area, the microbiomes, the effective microorganisms, which I've spoken about a lot. And you can go and have a look on the Dr. Jane Mackenzie YouTube channel. And there's about 400 educational videos there now. So really go and have a feast there. And the other 25% will be related to the bone marrow, producing the white blood cells and the beta cells, T cells, NK killer cells, etc., and also the immunoglobulins, which you get from bee pollen, algae, medicinal mushrooms, etc. So I'm going to pull it all together today, and you can use this video as a fantastic recording, I think, of just about everything, because everything revolves around our immunity. If we don't have our army ready, we're going to be invaded. And so whether I'm talking about longevity, anti-aging, immunity, detoxification, nutrients, stress, lifestyle, the whole bang shoot fits together. So I just thought this evening I'll be in more of a training mode, and then I'm going to be mentioning a lot of products and why we use them, and then you can go and have a look and see exactly the ones that you want to use. So it's quite a big subject. I'm going to just pull the presentation through. Big subject, but great information. So let me start immediately. And wanting to present to you, to the fact of building resistance before invaders strike. That is prevention. If you're caught on the back leg, it's going to take you 2-3 extra days or maybe a week or a month extra to get better. And that's not okay. And I think everybody does get the wake-up calls, the warning calls. You don't feel okay. You don't have 100% energy. You're not sleeping properly. All those symptoms, cardiac, kidney, liver, gut, skin, spleen, digestion, circulation, they're all speaking to us. Wait. So that you can be sure. If you've got those kind of symptoms, your immunity is low. If you're acidic, your immunity is low. If you have low oxygen, your immunity is low. So, we pride ourselves here at the 365 Healthy by Choice Center in Bryanston with our chronic disease clinic, where we rectify all of this and we bring the body back into homeostasis. And that's crucial for anything. It's a starting block. It's a stepping stone. We've got to start there. And I want to just, speak a little bit about this immunity crisis that we do have. So if we get this right, all these other symptoms, apart from emotional causes I'll speak about, but the physical symptoms will virtually disappear anyway. So everything is holistic, everything's integrated, interrelated, and I've brought this together in my HIELO process, holistic, integrated, epigenetic life orientation. And this is my way of presenting this information to the world. And this quantum well-being compass is where we come in. And it's an iterative process, ongoing. Those of you who've been with me for a long time, those of you who've been working on your health journeys for a long time, it's a journey. It's really not a destination. And your liver can be well for a while, and then suddenly out of the blue, it starts ailing again, and that's because there's a new resistance. So the body's recognized resentment, bitterness, anger from an emotion that's now requiring healing. So it's not that you've done something wrong. It's not that you've been lazy or anything. This is just how the body speaks to us, and it's an ongoing turning wheel. So we have an iterative process in place to look at physical and emotional purification. And all of these roads lead to building their immunity, keeping the genetic code according to the blueprint, and building your immunity. So I think never before have we seen such a poor immunity, and there's 101 diseases related to this. And I'm talking about intense pain and inflammation, autoimmunity, fibromyalgia, lupus, degeneration, and all these weird and wonderful names for things. Okay, if we just stay calm and still and listen, we will be able to work effectively in the world and prevent ourselves from getting ill. And I'll share with you what I do. So this is my HIELO approach, which is a prevention-focused strategy for immune resilience. And there's more and more weird and wonderful microorganisms, bacteria, viruses, fungi coming out, parasites, and I don't think they're going to go away. So I just want to say one thing, first of all, is that we will automatically detox round about the equinoxes and the solstices. That's when the earth cleanses as well. So round about 21st of May, 21st of June, 21st of September, 21st of December, the earth naturally detoxifies. And you find that if your body is in sync with this, you will naturally eat less. You'll naturally probably want to fast. You'll want to purify. So that will start like kind of early beginning of the month. And you'll get that feeling moving up to and past the 21st of those 4 months I mentioned. And it's quite normal. So here our normal friendly bacteria will shift into the pathogenic, opportunistic form and go and cleanse us. Now, those pathogens are not contagious. The ones that are contagious are the ones that are acquired, community-based. And these are generally the GMO, genetically modified organisms, the engineered organisms. They are contagious. That's absolutely for sure. And I know because we run this chronic disease clinic, and we do see it. If I put myself on the NQB after I've been in the clinic with people with degeneration, etc., I will see those frequencies in myself. Obviously, I'm healthy, so my body will deal with them and clear them, but not everybody is. So bear that in mind. Both theories exist. The body will naturally detox. Those pathogens are not acquired. They're not transmissible. But the community-based acquired organisms are generally generated. And the reason why they are contagious is because the body's natural immune system is not wired to identify them. So here I do have a slide on immunity, just to sort of glance into this aspect. So we do want to activate the receptors, the beta cells, T cells, NKF cells, and I'm going to show you the products that do that. We want to activate the immune system and in some cases modulate it, but I don't work with that. As far as I'm concerned, you can't suppress the immune system. It's like taking your army away. That's just not going to happen. Sinking all your ships, no. So I put it out there because some people's protocols include that. Those people that come to me are weak. And we have to work with our body's immunity, biological approaches, and we do have a specific and a non-specific way of bringing on our own immunity in an innate and an adaptive way. So the innate response is immediate, and that will when you will target the invader and stop it from becoming a resident in you. The adaptive phase is a sustained, specific build up in your own immunity. So I'm working with both of those. My nutrients do both of those, just to tell you. So we don't want to get complicated and things. We want to keep things really simple. So this slide is the slide I'm going to be going through. And so you can imagine my store. And I've spoken about this many times, but let's just be very clear. We are a battery, and we've got a voltage, an amperage, a resistance. We need hydration. We need oxygen inside the cells. We've got a pH. We've got a cell vitality level, electrical potential around the cells, and that's all critical and important. I was speaking at some homeopathic health pharmacies today, and that was one of the most enlightening things to a couple of the health practitioners today, was to charge this body. So just think about it. If you've got a flat battery, are you able to do anything with your cell phone, your car? No, you're not. Same with us. So we've got to make sure that the voltage is up, the adrenals are functioning. You're not in a hypoadrenic state. We need to make sure that the brain amplitude, the wavelengths of the brain, happiness, harmony, neurotransmitters, hormones, everything is firing. We need to make sure that the resistance is low, the ohms, and that will be by removing toxins and parasites and any degenerative tissue. Make sure that the hydration inside the cell is maximum over 85%, and that the oxygen inside the cell is over 85%. We've got that. We've got charged electrons. We've got oxygen coming in the cell and food, obviously, and we're going to make energy. ATP, CTP, TTP, and GTP. Not only ATP. I've told you this many, many times. So that is the deal. That is going to bring life force. When you got life force, you can see it in the face. There's shine. It's coming out of your pores, not literally, and the body's got energy. And that is called neg entropy. When we're in a diseased state, we're in an entropic state, which is downward spiral. Okay, neg entropy, our life force, is there because we can keep warm in a cold room. So that just shows you. So everything I'm talking about here now is building life force, building neg entropy. So my two major minerals that I start with to charge this battery. And remember, it's in science at school when you had the electrodes in a beaker, when you had some minerals in the water connected to a light bulb, and when you put the electrodes into the water, the light came on. That was minerals. Same with us. So we need the Almost Gold Rejuvenating Elixir, which is an alchemical product. Instead, gold, silver, copper, platinum, nickel, palladium, osmium, iridium, ruthenium, etc. There are 10 of them, platinum, precious metal minerals, and they will turn and put our light on. We have to have these. Many of them are missing in the soil and the food these days because of the way food and soil is treated. You will find it walking along the beach, in a forest. If it's just rained, you'll actually breathe the minerals in. They will come in through your skin as well. We have it, we make it, and my Ormus is the flagship of my entire 365 Healthy by Choice range, because that is the highest frequency nutrient that I can measure using the Bova scale for another day. So we've got to have these. I take Almost Gold every day, a tablespoon in the morning in water first thing. If you're doing treatment, you could do it 3 times a day. Remember, it's going to detoxify you. Gold is the highest, strongest detoxifying element of the entire periodic table. Some of these things in the Almost Gold are not even on the periodic table, just to tell you. So you're dealing with a product here that was even used singularly in the bubonic plague. And it's all written down in the King's Book. But it gives you an idea why the salt mines were so key and critical. So we make the Almost Gold. And once we've got that, I know it's very subtle, but that body's getting charged. And then I'm going to bring in the Shilajit 85 minerals or the REC Moss 95. It doesn't matter. The REC moss, just for those of you interested, is formed by the layers of plant material that have fallen over the centuries and the thousands of years with the mud covering with becoming rock. And then what they do is they pull the resin out of the rock, and it's every country in the world, every continent. They pull the resin out, which is basically, which is the plant material, and it contains 85 minerals. It's standardized. So Shilajit is the mother of things like fulvic acid and humic acid. No one knows really why they pull this apart, because once you extract from a stabilized plant-based material, those extracts become unstable. For example, fulvic acid will grab any heavy metal along its journey, but Shilajit won't. Fulvic acid will bind with chlorine in the water, forming carcinogenic products. So you're supposed to have it with spring water and distilled water and things like that. No, come back to holism and use the whole plant, which is in the Shilajit form. Don't get technical and start putting it into paste and all those kind of things. Then you've got to stabilize it, and you can't guarantee that. So I would use the certificate of analysis product that I have powdered in a capsule. And the Irish sea moss, 95. So you can actually alternate these, or you can take one capsule Shilajit, one Irish sea moss per day, or two of the one day, two of the other one the other day. But now we've got a nice mineral base. You can use also, by the way, electrolytes, the alkalinizing electrolytes. I have the replenish one. We actually add boron in there because the boron is very low in the soil and the food, and it's crucial for taking minerals into the bone and for the brain and the nerve development. So you can easily bring in the electrolytes, which are powerful orientations of calcium, potassium, magnesium, the major trace minerals. You can't overdo it because none of these are chelated or nano-coated. They're all in this natural form. So I have all of those in the range, and you can go and look on the website. Okay, let's leave minerals now and move to the next layer, which is oils. So there's an oil there, flaxseed oil. And the flaxseed oil has its own electrical properties, which the other oils do not have. So, for example, flaxseed oil will form an electrical potential around the cell membrane, enabling food and oxygen to enter and waste to leave. Without a cell membrane potential of minus 95 millivolts, you are sick. All right, and there's just degrees. The further you move away from minus 95 up or down, your degrees of illness. So when we get these degenerative clients coming in, picture this now. The degenerative client comes in, we bring the minerals in, we bring the flaxseed oil in. It also forms a barrier around the cell membrane, preventing the entrance of viruses. Imagine. So that oil is helping with digestion and absorption of food. It's helping with absorption of oxygen from the lungs, also the reproductive mucous membranes. And it's crucial and it's essential. You don't make this. So the number one deficiency in degenerative clients is fatty acids. And you get that from flaxseed oil, cold pressed. You never heat it. We've talked a lot about heated oil. I'm not going to go into that today. So that's crucial number one. And I'm also going to bring the black seed oil in here. I'm just going to let the doggies out. Hold on. Come on. Oh, sorry about that. And I'll have to let them in just now as well because it's freezing outside. So now we're going to move to the black seed oil. The all-in. We need it. We use it for building immunity. A teaspoon in the morning, a teaspoon in the evening. By the way, the flaxseed oil, I would go for 2 teaspoons to 1 tablespoon twice a day. If your gallbladder is blocked, you don't have bile secretion, and you're going to have a problem swallowing oil. So I revert you to the gallbladder flush. But coming back to black seed, there's 25 things that black seed oil helps with. But most importantly, it's building immunity in my patients that specifically need it. So I love the taste of it. So for me to put that over my salad or my cool down veggies or whatever, it's easy. Okay, so now we've got a nice electrical potential with the flaxseed oil. We're now moving to how we're going to heal these cells and make sure that the cells are whole, then that the tissue is whole and that the organ is whole, leading to the system. We need peptides. So my replica RNA DNA has got the 5 major building block peptides. Please don't get caught in the scams of these peptides only for pancreas, these peptides only for thyroid. Those are synthetic amino acids that are generally chelated or nanocoated. My replica RNA DNA is made from viral cell wall membranes, and they are in fragments. Uracil, guanine, adenine, cytosine, thymidine, the 5 major peptide building blocks for the entire body that will make your hormones, your neurotransmitters, your enzymes repair cells and help the body grow. So you don't have to, even as an athlete, worry about your protein supplementation. Take the replica RNA DNA. Okay, it's going to not only heal your gut, it's going to also, which will and heal the lung lining on the membrane side. It's going to further enable then the oxygen and the food to enter into the bloodstream and then into the cells. So it's got a wide variety. It boosts the immune system. It will actually say, hey, listen here to our immune system. Go and find those invaders that are coming into the body that you're not recognizing. It's used at the top cancer clinics in the world, the Brzezinski Clinic, for example. So it's got another name, but it's exactly the same. This one has got European certification. This one is crucial. If we don't have the right proteins, we're not going to be able to rebuild that body and build our immune system. So we're also talking stem cells here because we also need an innate protein there. And the peptides in the replica RNA DNA are slightly conjugated in the stem cell formulation. I'm talking here mainly royal jelly, blue-green algae, lion's mane, cordyceps, and poti. Those are the top 5 plant-based adult stem cell activators. And this is my preference because I'm going to use this and I'm going to stand in the sun because the sun is going to photosynthesize. It's going to be reaching these nutrients in my veins, in my cells, and it's going to activate them. I'm also always going to be biological and work with the earth, the sun, and the body. So these stem cells are crucial because if the bone marrow needs stem cells, let's say it's weak because the kidney's weak, to make white blood cells, I need the stem cells there. One of the major ones there would be the blue-green algae, producing bone marrow stem cells. And just to go back to the cordyceps, crucial for lungs, for oxygen, assisting with oxygen absorption. The royal jelly, the bee pollen, crucial for oxygen absorption. So these stem cells are doing, the plants that I've used in the stem cells are doing a myriad of activities, including boosting immune system and most importantly, but also longevity, which is important to all of us, because if you've got an active immune system and you've got your genetic code in place, you consuming minerals, your oils, your peptides, and your stem cells, you've got a massive advantage over anyone else. But that you're doing it for you, I know, and your body's going to then age gracefully. And a further conjugation of these peptides you will find in the bee mix, the pollen, propolis, and royal jelly, the algae mix, the blue-green algae, chlorella spirulina, the medicinal mushroom mix, reishi, cordyceps, chaga, lion's mane, maitake, shiitake. So you're going to get them all of those high-level nutrients that I categorize with organic sprouts, microgreens, organic fruit and nuts and seeds. Those to me are the belt of high-level nutrients. Already having spoken about high-level nutrients. So I was saying to the health practitioners this morning, you know, we need to get ourselves and our customers onto these high-level nutrients because they're doing a myriad of activity. So, for example, the B mix good for obviously immunity, building mRNA, fertility, building for circulation. They all do circulation and oxygenation of the body. The algae mix, I'm going to work definitely there with the stem cells, the bone marrow, and if the body tells me specifically that I need to bring in high levels of vitamin B, because you find a lot of that in the algae, vitamin K, vitamin D. If you're going to use the medicinal mushrooms, they will work very closely with the organs of the body, the heart, the kidneys, the brain, lungs, liver, skin. They will work with the metabolic systems in the body, the blood sugar, blood pressure, cholesterol lowering, in addition to building immunity. So you can, as a practitioner or as a client, work out for yourself which one you resonate with. Some people take 1 capsule of each a day. Some people take 2 capsules of each a day. Some people take 2 capsules of B mix, next day 2 algae, next day 2 medicinal mushroom mix. Some people take 30 days, a month of B mix, 2 a day, a month, following month algae mix, 2 a day, following month medicinal mushroom mix, 2 a day. So when you're working with these frequency nutrients, they don't just stop being in your body the day you stop using them. There's actually a wave flow. There's a frequency flow. So it's beautiful overlap that. And you're getting your 18 essential amino acids in there. Fantastic. Moving now to stress adaptogens. So to build immunity, we've got to manage stress and lifestyle. So stress will really hammer your dopamine, your neurotransmitters, your hormones, and requiring the body to make more and more and more, which depletes the body of nutrients itself. So if we calm, we are able to build immunity. If we're stressed, we're going to hammer our immunity. Not worth it. If we stressed, we're going to produce acidity, and I'm going to talk about that in a moment as well. So I bring in a lovely rhodiola, Siberian ginseng, ashwagandha, adaptogen to calm the body, just to layer the body as we move through the day and as we sleep. And that definitely has a direct effect on hormone secretion, of course, and stabilization of the immunity and the rest of the body. The body is able to function properly. I'm going to talk about oxygen, crucial. Now we're really talking about detoxification. I've got the cell vitality oxyminerals, the cell oxygen powdered capsules, and the DMSO. Oxygen is king. It's crucial. And oxygen, there's no resistance to oxygen. It blanket covers every single invader that you can think of. And it's all about dosage and the body's ability to heal. So many YouTube recordings I've done on oxygen. But I want to bring it in here because we can't hope to heal if we're not removing parasites, degenerative tissue, and toxins. That's your resistance to flow that I spoke about in the beginning. So the whole time here, I'm building the voltage by charging the adrenals, charging the body, building the neurotransmitters, the hormones, the enzymes, the brain amplitude, and then reducing resistance. So the cell oxygen will also work. That's oral. And then the DMSO, dimethyl sulfoxide. So if you're taking notes, and you can always replay this, or go and search on my YouTubes, put DMSO in the top, and you're going to get the download here. These I'm using the DMSO specifically to dissolve toxins, degenerative tissue, anything that's in its way. It's also going to carry these nutrients we're talking about much deeper into the cell. So you're getting potentiation. In other words, 1 B mix is going to be equivalent to 2 if you've got DMSO circulating. DMSO is plant tree sap. So there, remember, with oxygen, it's an oxidant. So we don't take it with the antioxidant, which is the next point. So you would always have an hour or two separation from taking any oxygen product with an antioxidant. I see products on the shelf containing both. Well, I'm sorry, but while they're sitting on the shelf, they're neutralizing each other, and they're definitely going to neutralize each other inside you. So they might have done tests on individual products, but never together. I have, and I've got a quantum machine to measure it. So that's another hint from me. So the big wild and wonderfuls that I use would be glutathione, Phyto-C, and VitaFlow is pine bark and grapeseed extract, which I'm coming to in a moment. So glutathione contains 3 major proteins. We always get back to proteins, you see. And it's going to assist the liver function specifically, but it's more powerful than vitamin C. We don't want to be using ascorbic acid because that is synthetic, and it is going to cause kidney stones at some stage because it will acidify you. So for a month or something, maybe ascorbic acid, but rather move to the Phyto-C, which has got 12 orientations of plants and herbs and superfoods that the body can draw on to bring in vitamin C and phytosterols. I also have the glutathione and the Phyto-C together in varying different amounts. So those are definitely with our degenerative clients. And then I'm moving to the VitaFlow, which is definitely for circulation. It also activates the enzymes which produce SOD. That one is the strongest antioxidant of everything. And that dismutase enzyme is going to bring in nitric oxide, which is key and crucial, but naturally. So you're not taking a nitric oxide. So you really here, I've covered those bases with the antioxidants completely. The VitaFlow is enormous for circulation with the pine bark and the grapeseed extract, and bringing oxygen delivery. So what the pine bark does is it relaxes the nitric oxide rather relaxes the veins, relaxes them, expands them, and then there's flow, nutrients and oxygen. So besides doing other things, the pine bark and the grapeseed extract are really, really high level antioxidants, SODs. So moving more towards acidity, we can't heal the body if the battery's not charged, the minerals aren't there, the oils aren't there, the proteins aren't there, the oxygen isn't there, the client is relaxed, and the client is alkaline. Our pH of our blood is 7.4. So we need to be alkaline, whichever way we look at it. If we're acidic, we're going to grow pathogens. If we don't have oxygen, the pathogens are going to grow as well. So we have to have that. Obviously, we need to be hydrated as well. But to reduce that acidity, I'm going to bring in something called a zeolite. It binds the uric acid. I will bring in my alkaline replenish electrolytes. Alkaline electrolytes. Way back before, when the caveman ate the meat and the bone, he ate the bone to bring the alkaline minerals in to balance the acidic meat. So red meat, complex carbohydrates, they're all acidic. But so rather eat what's named pseudo cereals, the seeds, buckwheat, millet, quinoa, sorghum, teff, alfalfa sprouts, those things. Rather use those seeds. So it's crucial that we reduce acidity. By detoxifying the body, you will also reduce acidity, and you're going to reduce resistance. For heavy parasites, we're going to use the para-immune defense. It's going to reach those engineered organisms that I've talked about a lot already. It's got the top antiviral, antifungal, antibacterial herbs in it: Andrographis, powder arco, sarsaparilla, knotwood. And it's got the 3 that are in Parastop: Artemisia, wormwood, and cloves. So Parastop is in para-immune. People were asking me which one. Parastop, the dosage that I'm using it at, 1 whole 500 milligram in the morning and the evening. And because it's in a powdered form, brings out parasites. You see them. So there's nothing wrong with using the Parasop. Get a nice clean, or follow it after the Para-Immune Defense. I would go straight to the Para-Immune Defense budget related, because there I'm going to deal with the weird and wonderfuls. I'm not going to mention them because we want this recording to be on YouTube. So these products you'll take morning and evening. Para-Immune will sometimes take 8 capsules straight. Again, away from the oxygen, because they are antioxidants in there. An hour or 2 away from the oxygen. Very, very important in the morning. Other things that are going to cause resistance and enable parasites to live in us. If you're eating heated oil, I've talked about this so many times, you are just setting yourself up for parasite invasion, because they live in the heated oil. Heated oil is rancid. It's in the free radical form, which we all know free radicals cause degeneration. They block the blood. They cause clotting. And when I've got blocked blood and clotting, I'm not getting oxidation. I need flow. I need VitaFlow. I need circulation. So we don't want that to happen. I've got a fat go and a weight loss, and they're going to reduce the fatty neutral fat that's hard to digest. I've got kelp as well. So you see my toolkit comes into play very nicely, very importantly. And I check all of this with the live blood analysis and the quantum NQB and the Q450. Precision-based assessments. Evidence-based medicine. Research, measured, and what the client tells you. Also, what can happen due to the acidity is calcification. Nobody wants this. Why? Because there's mollusks and certain parasites that live in the calcification, and they hide the minute you try and attack them. So we want to decalcify this body. Not only the gallstones, also the kidney stones, also the vessels, also the bones, also the brain, also the prostate, also the cells where there's calcium deposits. And remove the acidity straight away, bring the zeolite in and the replenish electrolytes. So very important there, the Decalci-X, it's got the Chancapedra in and about another 5 super herbs that decalcify. The Chancapedra is in an extract. So it's very, very powerful. It works very, very quickly to soften calcified stones. The decalcification flush is a kit in a tub, and you take MSM, sodium bicarb and ascorbic acid every day with lemon juice for 30 days. And you would repeat it. If I want instant relief on a blood pressure, high or low, I'll give that decalcification flush. It works so quickly. So if it's cleaning the vessels that quickly, it's going to clean the rest of the body as well. If you've got a chronic calcification problem, use the Decalci-X from a herbal point of view and the decalcification flush from a mineral point of view. And then you're going to get a massive decalcification. Calcification can take about 3 months. The worst thing in the brain, because the glands calcify, pineal, pituitary, hypothalamus, that will lead to dementia. The parasites live in that calcification. The oxygen can't get through in the vessels. It's just a downward spiral. So yay, we can address that. And then looking now specifically at the lungs and respiratory, I've got the lung cleanse and restore, which has got the cordyceps, the bee pollen, the Siberian ginseng in it already to enhance oxygen absorption. Plus, it's going to purify those lungs. It will have some sage in there to dry up the phlegm. So the COPD patients definitely get the lung cleanse and restore. Anybody battling to overcome pneumonias and all those serious chronic things, people who do have asthma and so on. And, we want to build cellular support with everything I've spoken about here. The bee pollen is going to do it. You see, it's going to help the hemoglobin and the blood cells. So if we're helping that, remember, if we're helping the hemoglobin, we're going to carry oxygen. Beautiful. Spirulina, dark green, got lots of chlorella, lots of chlorophyll. So lung foods will be the green leafy foods, the broccolis, the leafy foods, broccoli, cauliflower, kale, because they breathe for the plant, you see. So the lungs breathe for us. So just think about that. And then I'm going to move to emotional release as well. Let me just move the slides on here to this one here, right? And this is my infamous holistic ancestral orientation, where we look at the emotional release of generational patterns. Fundamental number one to all of this, because we can cover this desk with products, nutrients, even 365, but we've got to remove that inherent latent root cause beyond the physical. Anger, sadness, fear, hate. And that's an hour process with me. It's all on the website. You can book on the website, etc. It's absolutely crucial to remove those layers of the onion. Some of the generational patterns come from our parents, our grandparents, and so on. We need to get to the root cause. We need to get to the origin and clear it so that the client can clear itself. Honorably and respectfully. It's the most beautiful work. People come again and again and again. And personally, I've done probably 80 or more by now. I've lost count, but I do it regularly, sometimes daily. So we want to remove that. We want to bring down the stress with the stress adaptogens we spoke about, regulate the nervous system, the myelin sheath, and so on. Flaxseed oil is awesome to do that. Because remember, it's creating that electrical potential. So if the nervous system is involved there too. And I would talk about the mucuna, because that is for the brain, neurotransmitters, serotonin, dopamine, GABA, PEA. Crucial to balance the brain amplitude, the firing of the brain. The GABA, remember, is going to balance the EEG perfectly, and also for neurogenic pain. So we're reducing neurogenic pain, we're going to boost immunity. So this is just getting back to it. And I've been wanting to do this presentation for a long time, because it really does quantify and qualify what I'm doing. With the HIELO process, we've got to do a benchmark assessment, either the NQB device or the Q450, and we do a live blood analysis. So there's beautiful alignment of results that we get, assessment of the gap, the health risk gaps in this particular presentation, the immune risk gaps, what's going on in the gut, what's going on in the bone marrow, what's going on with immunoglobulins. Just to say, the medicinal mushrooms, the algae mix, and the bee mix carry immunoglobulins, transferred immunity, like you would get from a raw egg yolk. So very important here to identify these gaps in the assessment and then to realign. So I'm offering 15% off on immune support products. Go to the website. There's the website detail there, and get your special. You will see it says on sale. You add to cart and you check out. I really, really would. I'm going to just go back to that very long slide, just to remind you of the beautiful work and what we do to heal. So you can become, Hippocrates said, physician healed ourselves. You can do that. And we want to eat like this. We want to eat the foods that are useful. We can have fun with the rest of the foods, but we want to eat properly and we want to prepare the food properly. So that is our 15% off. And my goal is for you to think clearly, live productively in all areas of your life. 365 days a year. Let's thrive. Thank you for listening. It's an honor and a privilege to always have you here and with me. And I hope you've learned something, and please share. I will do the replay tomorrow, and also send you other notes during the week on email, on WhatsApp, on LinkedIn, on Instagram, and the various platforms that I'm on. Thank you very much, and have a good week, and build up your immunity.